Prince Albert II of Monaco was among the 2,200 guests at the coronation of King Charles III and Queen Camilla on Saturday, May 6. Ahead of the crowning ceremony, he spoke to Hello's A Right Royal podcast about the preparations for such an event and, having ascended the throne as head of state in 2005, gave a unique perspective on how King Charles may have been feeling ahead of the big day. While he admitted surprises or unexpected turn of events could impact the occasion, he said, "You pretty much know what's going to happen and you learn to prepare for it. But, of course, it is a very emotional moment. And you feel a little nervous and a little anxious to see that everything will go well, but it's not overwhelming. Yes, you want to be able to share it with your family and those around you, but you also want everything to run smoothly and not last too long." He added, "When you know that things are well organized and well planned, it makes the anticipation of the event a little easier." Like King Charles, Albert grew up in the spotlight. He is the only son of Prince Rainier III and Grace, Princess of Monaco, formerly Grace Kelly, and was heir apparent from the day of his birth. He was appointed regent in March 2005 after his father fell ill and became sovereign prince upon his death a week later. Unlike in Britain, the Monegasque head of state is not physically crowned, nor is the beginning of his reign celebrated with a coronation, but his reign is celebrated across the principality. For Albert, the first of a two-part investiture ceremony was held in July of that year, following a 3-month mourning period for his father. Don't miss. Poll: should King Charles be allowed to speak out on political issues? Poll: Perfect Kate praised for choice that kept spotlight on Charles at coronation. Latest: King Charles tried to break down barriers of archetypal royal relationships. Insight: lip readers spot brutal remark King Charles said to Camilla while in gold carriage. A clip of the monarch and Queen Camilla in their coach waiting to enter Westminster Abbey was shared online. Now, two lip readers have said that the king was venting frustrations about a delay. At an inauguration morning mass at St. Nicholas Cathedral, he was appointed His Serene Highness and was sworn in before the people of Monaco. This solemn ceremony marked the beginning of Albert's reign. Afterwards, the prince returned to the palace to host a garden party for 7,000 Monegasques. He was presented with 2 keys to the city as a symbol of his investiture and gave a speech. The festivities concluded with a fireworks display on the waterfront. Then, in November of that year, Albert formally assumed Monaco's throne during a day of ceremony and celebration. He was enthroned at the cathedral in front of the princely family and royalty from 16 delegations, including Britain's Prince Edward, Prince Joachim of Denmark, Prince Moulay Rashid of Morocco and Prince Faisal of Jordan. A ceremony outside the princely palace saw Albert preside for the first time over Monaco's National Day military review. He was presented with a royal standard bearing his emblem, while his father's standard was presented to the Royal Guard one last time and marched inside the palace gates. The evening ended with a dedicated performance at the Opera de Monte Carlo. When asked how similar his investiture was to Saturday's coronation, Albert said, "Every country is different and our countries, the United Kingdom and Monaco, are very different in traditions and culture, but it remains a very moving moment and a very significant one for that country's institution and people, of course. It's the same thing for every country that has a monarch as a head of state. It's always a very emotional and very, very powerful moment." Albert's enthronement ceremony, which coincided with Monaco's National Day, November 19, was witnessed by 800 guests. Outside, some 2,000 Monaco residents watched the ceremony on a giant video screen. Meanwhile, Charles's coronation guest list was made up of over 2,000 people, and the ceremony was watched by nearly 20 million people around the world. Asked how he and the British King cope with so many eyes on them, Albert said both he and Charles were exposed to public life at a young age, adding, "Charles is in the same configuration and he has had even more public exposure than I had at a very early age. You learn to deal with things and you learn to look beyond what is there, and you have to somehow look for moments that you can enjoy and where you can experience it in a personal way."